Look at the upper body on a gymnast or a calisthenics pro. No machines built that, just their own body weight moved through brutal ranges year after year. Your muscles work the same way theirs do. They respond to tension and effort, and they have no idea whether that tension comes from a loaded bar or from gravity acting on your own frame. So here it is. 10 bodyweight exercises, full body, built around one idea. Athletic performance isn't about how much weight you can move, it's about how well you can move your own. Bodyweight training builds strength relative to your own mass, and that's exactly what carries over to how you move when it counts. And for the lower body, we're taking it further. Most of these are unilateral or single-leg movements. Our squats, deadlifts, leg press, and ultimately most of our leg day revolves around two-legged movements. This side is already covered. But sprinting, cutting, lunging, and landing all happen one leg at a time, and that side of strength rarely gets trained directly. The list starts with pull-ups, the purest test of strength relative to your own body weight, which is the only strength the sport ever asks about. They build the lats, upper back, biceps, and grip into one coordinated pulling system, and a strong set of lats bulletproofs the shoulders of every athlete for overhead movement. Hang from a bar at full stretch, and before you pull, try to break the bar apart in your hands, which externally rotates the shoulders and sets them in a safe, strong position. From there, drive the elbows down and behind you until your chin clears the bar, then lower with control all the way to straight arms. If a full rep is not there yet, loop a band under a knee, do slow negatives from the top, or build up with inverted rows first, and every one of those still trains the pull. Pull-ups carry over hard to swimming, climbing, wrestling, and grappling, anywhere you drag your own weight around or control somebody else's. Second comes deficit push-ups, and the deficit is what turns an ordinary push-up into a genuine chest builder. Raising your hands lets the chest travel below them at the bottom, and training a muscle in that deep stretched position is one of the strongest growth signals you can send it. Parallettes, hex dumbbells, or a pair of weight plates all make a good setup. Hands about shoulder width, body locked in one rigid line, lower until you feel a real stretch across the chest with elbows around 45 degrees, then press the floor apart on the way up. If the deficit is too much, start with standard push-ups, or raise your hands on a bench and shrink the depth, and grow into the full range over a few weeks. The carryover lands in boxing and martial arts, where punching power comes off the chest at full reach, and in rugby and football, where a stiff-armed fend is basically this exact movement. Third on the list is Pike Push Ups, your overhead press without a barbell. They load the shoulders and triceps in a vertical pressing line, and strength you own in that plane shows up every time you reach, block, or throw above your head. Set up in a tall inverted V, hips as high as you can get them, hands shoulder width, and walk your feet in until your torso points at the floor. Lower the crown of your head toward a spot just in front of your hands, then press back to the start, keeping the hips high the whole way. If it is too hard, widen the angle and keep more weight in your feet while your shoulders catch up. If it is too easy, put your feet up on a box to tip more body weight into your hands on the road toward handstand push-ups. Volleyball blockers, basketball rebounders, tennis servers, and swimmers all run on the overhead strength this builds. Fourth up is dips, the heaviest pressing you can do with no weights at all, since they put your entire body weight through the chest, shoulders, and triceps in a range deeper than any bench press reaches. Use parallel bars if you have them, or the corner of a kitchen counter, or 2 sturdy chairs. Start at the top with arms locked and shoulders pressed down away from your ears. Lean the torso slightly forward, lower until your upper arms reach parallel, and drive back up without shrugging. Bench dips with your feet on the floor are the entry point, and slow negatives from the top build the strength for full reps. An inch of progress in a month is significant here. Dips transfer to any sport where you shove an opponent off you or away from the ball, rugby, hockey, and football above all, and they sit at the foundation of gymnastics strength. Fifth comes inverted rows, the horizontal pull that keeps all this pressing from wrecking your shoulders. They build the mid-back, rear shoulders, and biceps, the muscles that hold your posture together and balance out a chest-heavy program. Set a bar around hip height, or use rings, straps, or even the edge of a sturdy table. Hang underneath with your body in one straight line and pull your chest to the bar while squeezing your shoulder blades together like you are pinching a pencil between them. Lower under control to straight arms. The beauty is how adjustable they are. Walk your feet back and raise the bar to make them easier, or elevate your feet on a box to make them brutal. Rowers and swimmers live on this pattern, and judo, wrestling, and rugby players use it every time they haul an opponent toward them. That rounds out the upper body half. Before we cover the lower half, drop a comment with the one exercise on this list you have been avoiding, and if these breakdowns are useful for you, a hype goes a long way for us. The lower body opens with skater squats, single leg strength with nothing but floor space. Sport almost never loads both of your legs evenly at once. You sprint, cut, land, and stride one leg at a time, and skater squats build the quads, glutes, and balance for exactly that. Stand on one leg, bend the other behind you, reach both arms forward as a counterweight, and lower your back knee toward the floor just behind your standing heel, then drive back up through the whole foot. Lower only to a box or bench at first, or hold a door frame with one hand and shrink the depth over weeks. Getting into the bottom position is the first milestone. As it gets easier, touch a lower target and add a pause down there. The carryover is exactly why coaches love them. Single leg power and balance in deep knee flexion that transfers straight into football, hockey, and basketball, just to name a few. Because ultimately there are countless sports involving decisive action from one leg in a low stance. Seventh on the list is high box step-ups, which take that single leg strength through the biggest range your hips can offer. A box near knee height forces the glute and quad of the top leg to lift your entire body weight out of a deep bend, which mirrors the joint angles of sprinting and jumping more closely than almost any lift. Place your whole foot on the box, lean your chest slightly over that leg, and drive through the heel until you stand tall on top, then lower yourself down slowly instead of dropping. Treat the bottom foot like it is standing on thin ice and must never crash through. Start on a lower step and raise the height as you get stronger, and slow the descent to make any box harder. Sprinters, basketball players, and hikers get the most obvious payoff. And any sport with acceleration in it benefits from the drive this builds. Eighth comes Nordic Curls, the single best hamstring exercise that exists at any price. The hamstrings decide your top speed, and they are the most injured muscle in running sports, and Nordics attack both problems at once, building size while training the lowering strength that protects the muscle at full sprint. Programs built around them have been shown to cut hamstring injuries roughly in half. Anchor your ankles under a couch, a loaded bar, or a partner's hands, kneel tall with your hips extended, and lower your torso toward the floor as slowly as you can before catching yourself on your hands. Start with negatives only. Use a push-off from the floor to help yourself back up. And if it is still too much, hinge into a bent hip stance, which removes the hip extension demand from the hamstrings and isolates the knee joint. Anyone who sprints benefits, which makes these gold for soccer, football, rugby, and track. Ninth on the list is bicycle crunches, and they earn their spot because sport is rotational and most ab training never is. They teach the obliques to connect your opposite shoulder and hip through what is known as the anterior oblique sling, and integrated myofascial system, which combines your obliques, chest, and opposite inner thigh with a continuous web of connective tissue to transmit force diagonally across the body. It is the exact diagonal line your body uses to throw, swing, punch, sprint, kick a ball, or even change direction quickly, and the obliques are the rotational engine for the system. Lie back with hands resting lightly behind your head, lift the shoulder blades off the floor, then extend one leg while rotating the opposite elbow toward the bent knee, moving slowly enough that the twist comes from your ribs instead of your arms tugging on your neck. Imagine wringing your torso out like a wet towel with every rotation. If your neck or lower back complains, slow down further, shrink the range, or swap in dead bugs until you are stronger. 10 to 15 slow reps per side will do far more for you than 50 rushed ones. Do them properly and the payoff shows up in every rotational sport there is: boxing, tennis, golf, baseball, cricket, and hockey. The list closes with hanging knee raises, which train three things athletes are quietly desperate for: the lower abs, the hip flexors, and grip. Strong hip flexors drive the knee in every sprint stride and every kick, and the lower abs control the pelvis, so your leg power actually transfers instead of leaking through a wobbly midsection. Hang from a bar with arms long, tuck your tailbone under first, then curl your knees up toward your chest, thinking of rolling your hips toward your ribs rather than just lifting your legs, and lower without swinging. If hanging is the limit, do lying leg raises on the floor while your grip catches up. That is completely fine. Progress to straight leg raises and eventually toes to bar. Sprinters and footballers feel this in their knee drive, martial artists in their kicks, and climbers get the grip work thrown in for free. Step back and look at what these 10 cover: pull-ups, inverted rows, deficit push-ups, pike push-ups, and dips give you every upper body pushing and pulling line loaded through deeper ranges than a bar allows. Skater squats, high box step-ups, and Nordic curls build your legs the way sport actually uses them, one at a time through big ranges, with the brakes as strong as the engine. Bicycle crunches and hanging knee raises tie the two halves together with rotation, knee drive, and a midsection that transfers force instead of wasting it. Every exercise here trains strength relative to your own body, and that combination of deep ranges, unilateral loading, and relative strength is why the muscle you build with this list shows up in games and not just mirrors. Work everything on this list in sets of 5 to 15 reps and take it up a notch when you're getting comfortable in the top end of this rep range. Keep taking sets close to failure, keep reaching for the next progression, a new variation, a deeper range of motion, and these 10 can carry your athletic strength for years with nothing but a bar, a box, and the floor. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments and tell me which of these you are starting with. I read every one, and it might shape the next breakdown.